Good morning. I hope you're doing really well. Now, we are approaching that strange space between Christmas and New Year. Nobody knows what day it is. Nobody knows what they're doing. It's a bit of a strange gap, isn't it? Let's call it the gap. So during the gap, sometimes we can be confused, but sometimes we can feel very empowered or very enthusiastic about moving into the new year. So I feel like today's reading is about, let's see in this gap energy what is coming forward that's going to give you some inspiration to move forward. So let's just get into your rooms first of all, because it is always about forward movement, isn't it? You, during this time, now this could have been leading up to Christmas, or maybe something's happened over Christmas, but you've really learned to trust yourself. You've really learned to trust yourself around your loved ones. It's almost like you've spoken during Christmas time. You've spoken more like an adult, or you felt more like the adult in the room. And I think that's new for you. I feel like that is unusual. For some of you, you've spent time with perhaps your partner's family or people that you wouldn't normally spend Christmas with. But you held your own and you actually felt good about it. You felt like you've been more respected this year. Now, there is something of a very exciting nature to what you're about to embark on, because I feel like you've revealed something about yourself. You've kind of uncovered a hidden secret within yourself that's actually making you want to take some kind of leap, a leap forward into 2025. And that's because you recognise the level of growth. Now, it's interesting, this rune came out this morning for a group reading that I did. And this is the energy of transformation, because it's learning and things are changing, but you're also reaping the rewards of your efforts. So it's becoming very apparent during this gap just how trusting you've become of yourself, just how much you've learnt about yourself, and just how much you know what you want moving forward. Now, it's that little nugget there of knowing what we want to be able to move forward that makes everything different, that makes everything change. And you are going through this transformation right now, this transmutation, a bit like the phoenix coming out of the flames, you know? So for some of you, you may have had a little bit of a grieving process over the holiday period. This is just releasing any stagnant emotion, stagnant energy that can't really be resolved in the 3D, but it needed releasing. So if you've been feeling that way and you didn't really know why, you don't need to know why. You just need to allow it to release. We have stag spirit and leadership. So this is what you are entering into now, moving into 2025. You are becoming the leader of your life. You are becoming the adult that is taking the hand of your inner child and walking into this new year fully committed to yourself, okay? But I do feel that there is something of a relationship coming into your life, or a deepening of a previous relationship. This is what this feels like. It is the energy of. I'm going to get into the T cards today. Marriage. For some of you, this deepening of the relationship is actually the next level of your relationship, okay? And again, I feel like you've been in this kind of situation before. When I say situation, I mean, I feel like you've been in this stage of a relationship before. But in the past, you've just gone along, you've just coasted with whatever the other person, you've let them lead. But I feel like you're becoming the lead now. You want to lead this. And it's that energy that's creating exactly what you want right now. It's bringing it in. So let's get some more information for you, because I feel like this gap between Christmas and New Year for you, there's going to be some exciting news. Whoops, coming out. I actually dropped all the cards then, so I'm just going to do that again. Although these videos are only 10 minutes long, so let's have a look. Let me see. What is the energy coming through on here? Okay, it's interesting. We have carriage, a journey, either physical or mental. Now that carriage makes me feel like that Cinderella story, do you know what I mean? Where it's almost like you have to become something different in order to fit in, that kind of thing. An injustice. I feel like you have felt injustice previously, but now you're entering this time of like, actually everything feels like it's coming together. Everything feels like it's not on some kind of timer. Because you've come from this space, we've got vulture here, depression, anxiety, and worry that someone is against you. So when you've been in previous relationships or connections, you've kind of felt like there's always this element of competition. And that could be the competition between you and the person that you're with, or you could have been thrown into situations where you've felt you have to compete with other people, okay? So there's an energy coming through on here as like you don't feel like that anymore. You're solid in yourself. You feel stable. Your personal power is at a high. So you don't feel that you need to hold on to anything now for all the wrong reasons. You're very secure in yourself, and this is becoming apparent. And that is why now you are entering this time of forward movement. Forward movement in a leadership role, okay? And I feel like the connection that you're in, or the person that you are thinking about, they like to see that in you. They like to see you be the leader. They need to feel that themselves, because I feel like they've always had to be the one to support everybody else, and they want some support too. And I feel like you bring that, and I feel like you like bringing that. We have rabbit, too much concern with sexual matters. So there's been this element, I feel, in this connection with you and this person. Perthrow actually did kind of illuminate that a little bit, sexual energy. Now, sexual energy, when it's not being misused, is brilliant, creative energy. You know, it drives things forward. It satisfies. And there may have been previously what was blocking this connection or holding this connection back was too much concern with sexual matters. So I feel like things are changing on that. It doesn't mean that you aren't being sexual anymore, but it's just that you've reached this different level of commitment where it's like that isn't the be all and end all of this anymore. And there's so much more to this connection than just that. And it's about, I read something earlier about relationships and how when you commit to someone, it's not about making that person happy. It's about growing together and being a mirror for each other, showing each other, supporting each other, you know, and I feel like that's what you're moving into, is moving away from surface level kind of territory in this connection and moving to a higher purpose in it. Caterpillar, things will not always be this way and a change is coming. So you might be being like, I don't really see anything changing in this relationship or in this connection or in this with this person, but it is changing. And I feel like you're both growing up. You're both growing into a space of working together. It's interesting, we've got the caterpillar there, and I was talking about transmutation and like the phoenix type of energy. It's all about that, you know, going into a chrysalis or bursting into flames, that kind of thing, and then what emerges from the ashes or what emerges from the chrysalis. This is where you're at right now, and you're in this period of being in the chrysalis, but then I feel like from New Year you are preparing to step out of that, and I feel like this is when everything is going to change. I'm going to use the Christmas tarot just for a minute. So I'm going to pick a tarot card just to confirm what we've been talking about here, give you some clarity, give you a little bit of conclusion with this. So let's see. I am thinking of taking this to a part 2 actually. I really am. Yes, transition, movement. There is forward movement here, and it's moving from uncertainty into absolute certainty. Trust in relationships, okay? And that energy is riding all over this, okay? Got out of the garage. You got out of the garage. You're getting into the car. This is kind of like where you are at the moment. And then we will see, where do we go from that? I'm going to take that to a part 2. So please do join me for the part 2. The part 2 is for subscribers only. So please do subscribe to my channel. There'll be so much on there, especially to do with meditations, moon magic. So I'll see you at part 2.